Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Gorezeki no minasama yokoso. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, ladies and gentlemen of the chat. Lovely to see you all. It is me, Clive Illenden, your host for tonight as we take a trawl through the fishing waters of the Stadia Sea. I wonder what fishy delights we'll find in our nets. Did you miss me? Did you miss me last week? I hope you all had a good Easter last week, if that's your thing. Big thank you for all of those of you here live, right here, right now, right now. We've got a packed show. Of course we have. We always have a packed show tonight. When don't we have a packed show? There'll be all the news. There'll be all the games. There'll be opinions or two and so much more. There'll be chat, of course, and so much, much more. But before all that, let's say hello to everybody in the chat because I really appreciate you guys. Remember, before I forget, and you know the song here, everybody please hit the likes because follow along now. I like them. YouTube like them. And it helps people like you find content like this. And if you are new here, oh my gosh, welcome. Say hello in the chat. You know, we're all friendly here. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell. I'm going to say toggle the bell notification so you know when I go live with content like this and all of that. Quick hello in the chat. Remember, put down the games you've been playing, what games you've been playing over the last week or so. Project Storm, in all his beautiful 4K 60 frames goodness, is in the house. Four Scars Gaming was watching him earlier. Hello, sir. Lovely, gentle stream. Trials of Steel 4 earlier today. Highly recommended watching that. Sednar, Dominic, Jerome, lovely to see you, Jerome. Eli, super. Ray is everywhere. Ray, I wonder, do you ever stop watching us all on YouTube? I mean, it's crazy. You're everywhere, man. Appreciated. Stadia Dad Games, much respect. How are you, my friend? Jerry, lovely to see you. Dave, Jakey, the crow, is in there. Bryant, yes, of course. Who else? Yes, anybody wants me to come and renovate their room? Paul, Stadia Dosage, MM2K, in the house. You know I'm not too proud to ask. Freddie Freddo, Jerry, we're done. Avery in the house. Evening all, sir. Lovely Avery. That's good. I think we've got everybody there. That's good. Let me know what you've been playing now. For me, ladies and gentlemen, a hell of a lot of Outriders. Despite all the issues that there were initially and still are to a certain degree, it's not really impacted me on too much. I don't play multiplayer game on it. I love the campaign, and I'm really digging the campaign. Digging the campaign? What am I, a hippie? Yeah, I'm really into the campaign. It's got real Gears 5 vibe to me, not just in the fact that it's a kind of shoot and cover game. And although I find the shoot and cover in this, the mechanics in this, smoother than in Gears 5, I find Gears 5 quite sticky. It's like you're a magnet, and you just walk by a wall and you kind of boing, stuck to the wall, and you're like, I want to get out and shoot. In Gears 5, it kind of flows a bit better. I find that a little bit in Division 2 as well. I think it flows. The mechanics, I think, in Outriders is brilliant. I think, People Must Fly, the developers have done an amazing job. I know they had a big reputation with their Bulletstorm game, so they know about gunplay and that kind of empowerment that you want to feel when you've got a big gun and you're blasting away aliens or whatever, and it gives you that feedback. It gives you that sense of like power with those guns. And the more you upgrade those guns, it just feels great. And so I'm really loving it, and I love the story. And once you put a few hours into it, I'm loving the characters. You begin to, it takes quite a long time, and then the characters sort of form this bond. And a bit like Gears 5, you start having empathy for the characters. So when things happen to the characters, you kind of a bit like, no, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm really enjoying it. If they can just iron out the wrinkles, a patch is in the works, ladies and gentlemen. So that should be good. But all good. But I've been enjoying it. I'm not sure I'm not sure how much I'll enjoy the multiplayer bits if it's just going around trying to take down a big monster. I like the story element. Anyway, SpongeBob, loving that. I mean, that's a lovely homage to the godfather of those 3D platforming games, which is, of course, Mario 64. Some great little puzzles and frustrating levels in it. It's just good. Don't sleep under SpongeBob. And ladies and gentlemen, and now not many people may realize this is actually a game on Stadia, sort of. I sort of mentioned it in a tweet earlier today. I've been playing PUBG. No, I haven't got my false teeth in. I did say PUBG, not PUBG. PUBG. What is PUBG, Clive? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know what PUBG is, let me introduce you to it. Here is Lord Kensal last night on his stream when he discovered PUBG, ladies and gentlemen. I'll play it for you. The hell is that PUBG in the corner? What is that? You seen that before? What? What is this? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Dagenetti's hit by... Oh my god, what is this? What? Okay. My god. Okay. Somebody shoot me then. Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to fight the chickens. No, no, no. Oh, I don't like this. All right, fight the chickens. This is cool. I did not know. Muted. Sorry, you missed that. Sorry. So many buttons, ladies and gentlemen. All I was saying, I probably muted on purpose because all I was saying is make sure you go and watch Lord Kensal 7 p.m. UK time tomorrow, right, over on his Lord Kensal of Stadia channel. So apologies for that. And also, I was hoping that now he has a regular slot on the Stadia Bash Community Network, the SBCN, that he won't be coming into this show interrupting us with his nonsense. Let's just hope. Anyway, sorry about that. So there we go. You think I'm a professional operation here, but it's, you know, it's all fingers and thumbs, all fingers and thumbs. Anyway, as I say, let me know what you've been playing and stuff and all that kind of stuff. Years of reading lips is paying off right now. Oh yeah, there we go. We're not muted now, man. We're good. We're good. Anyway, it has been... Oh, yeah. And also any things you want me to sort of talk about or anything like that, put that in the chat as well. And we'll come back to that as well. So good. Anyway, it has been a busy few weeks. You know, the Stadia tap is truly turned on, right? Because the games, they keep a flowing, ladies and gentlemen. They keep a flowing, those games. As Stadia said they would. Yeah, they said they would. They had all these games lined up. Seems they did. Seems they weren't lying. And as the year ramps up, ladies and gentlemen, as the year ramps up, we're going to see even more games. Now, excuse me, I'm not going to go through the week before Easter and all that, but needless to say, it's worth saying that since January the 1st, there have been 37 games. 37 releases. I read that in a tweet. Now, that was last week, so it could be 38 now. I couldn't be bothered to go back and double check. But I'm sure somebody tweeted last week there have been 37 games released this year on Stadia. So we're into a pretty good release cycle going forward here. So it could be 38 because I'm sure there was something released in the last week or so. And I don't know whether that 37 included all of that. So anyway, the point is, there's a lot of games, yeah, considering. And then you've got all these sort of officially announced games that are not released yet. Let's just find it here. So like just as in April, ladies and gentlemen, just to think about what we've got in April. We've got Floor Kids, which is coming out, on Wednesday. Dark Side Detectives Season 2, Friday. So that's a fumble in the dark, I guess. Judgment next week. And Legend of the Keepers. I've forgotten what Legend of the Keepers is there. And then we're straight into May. So, you know, we've got games are rolling out over the next few weeks. as well to look forward to. So plenty, basically. What I'm saying is plenty to look forward to. I always like to just come and pop to this Reddit thing, although I must admit, the Stadia Source version of this that has all the current games have got the little pictures, so I might use that next time. But anyway, yeah, April's just this week alone, we've got 2 games coming out. So as I say, it's a busy week. Judgment is going to be sick, Eli Levy, because I'll come to Judgment, actually. I'm going to come to Judgment. Oh, in fact, no, I won't. I'm coming to it now, actually. So, as I said, this month alone, we have the likes of Judgment, right? Which is a remastered version releasing across the... now, originally in the script, I put next gen because it's not next gen, it's current gen. Releasing across the current gen. So this is just for current gen. Yeah? It's only coming out on current gen. So it's PlayStation 5. So it's been optimized for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Stadia. So the very fact that it's coming out, it's been optimized specifically for the current gen platforms, it's a good chance it's going to be a good version. They say it's going to be 60 frames per second, and I'm assuming that's across all the platforms. It's not even coming out on PC yet. I came across some Reddit, some PC gaming Reddit, and they were bitching off about Judgment coming to Stadia. I even saw one of those headlines and it said, oh, Judgment coming to PS5, Xbox Series X/S, and then it went ... and Stadia ? Don't need headlines like that, ladies and gentlemen. Not very helpful. Anyway, the point is, yeah, Judgment is going to be awesome because it's been remastered for the current gen. So there's a good chance that what we're going to get is a really cool experience. So there we go. Exactly, Eli. That's what they were bitching off about in the PC gaming Reddit I came across. Anyway, as I say, for April, we've got Floor Kids as well. That looks kind of cool in a kind of... Who remembers Papa the Rapper? Yeah, so I think it's got that kind of Papa the Rapper vibe going on that, which I absolutely loved. Put down in chat if you show your age now. I think it was a PlayStation 1 game, possibly a PlayStation 2 game. No, PlayStation 2 game. Papa the Rapper. Anyway. And then we got Dark Side Detective 2, of course. And all of that, which is obviously the sequel, A Fumble in the Dark, to the current Dark Side, which is available at a very good price in the store, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just speed through some of these. I'll just, there we go. Don't need that. Okay, so they're all the games that are just coming up, as I say, in the next few weeks, which is kind of cool. Back to the studio, and then let's jump to last week's blog, because this is what you do when you have a podcast. You read the blog. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to add some opinion to it. Of course I am, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So earlier last week, of course, they announced the release of Trials of Cold Steel 4. If you want to check out what that's like, go to John Scars Gaming. He was streaming that live only but an hour or so ago. So well worth checking out. Dark Side Detective, which I'll come to, ladies and gentlemen, for $11 here. So good value to pick up. And Borderlands 3 had a free weekend. Let me know if you jumped into that. I remember picking up Borderlands at the last Uber sale they had, like for 12 quid. It's like special edition version. It was like a no-brainer, really. And what I really like about this blog post is this end bit here with the Stadia Pro members discounts. It's that sort of, they put that now in every blog, but it's quite funny because if you click on Stadia Pro deals, there's just the one title in there. I literally was going, oh, have the other titles not rendered through? I was literally going, refresh. There's surely some mistake. refresh. But no, that's your pro deals, lady. That's most un-Stadia-like, I have to be honest. So you could tell that last paragraph about more deals and Stadia Pro members discounts is their default text now for every blog. But yeah, anyway, they were announced earlier last week. Now, there's a bit of kind of, I don't want to say controversy, but there's a bit of confusion around Dark Side Detective, a bit of miscommunication, something's gone on, a bit of a snafu, call it what you will. But the Dark Side Detective was meant to be a pro game. In fact, it was mentioned in an earlier Stadia community blog post that it would be releasing as a blog game, and clearly it hasn't. Now, my understanding is, I think I read somewhere in conversation, either between the developer or Stadia, whatever, that they missed, may have been with the developer. Anybody knows for sure can let me know. They missed their deadline for April Pro announcements. Which seems to me, it's a bit of a miscommunication's gone on internally within Stadia, whatever. Not a good look. We have to call it out for what it is. Interesting enough, I'll say it. Duncan was absolutely livid about this, was wondering why nobody was writing giant headlines about this and screaming about it and yelling from the rooftops, this is outrageous. If it was on any other platform, they'd be going crazy about... No, they wouldn't. Yeah. It's a snafu. It's a bit of an issue. It's poor communication. Something messed up. Somebody messed up. Whatever. But, you know, it is what it is. Not very good. Calling it what it is, but not enough to make a headline. Yeah. Unless you're trying to stir the pot. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. But having said that, also on the community blog post window was about the Borderlands 3 free weekend. And then here, the official Borderlands YouTube channel, 11 a.m. Let's go there. Borderlands. The last thing here was 4 days ago, a trailer. It didn't happen. Let's close that, close that. Can you see all that? Yeah, it didn't happen. So this YouTube creators event on the Borderlands official channel didn't happen. And Stadia did put out a sort of a tweet. Have I got that there? Have I got it somewhere? Yes, I have. Here it is. So they put out here, not a tweet, but they put it out in Reddit. Grace from Google. Grace, I DM'd you, Grace. Yeah? Just wanted a little chat about something. I'm not a weirdo. But anyway, if you're watching, which I don't think you are, that's partly why I'm DM'd. Anyway, hi everyone, said Grace. Due to unforeseen circumstances, the Borderlands 3 event mentioned in our most recent This Week on Stadia blog has been cancelled. Has been cancelled. This is 22 hours ago. Was cancelled is probably the right one. The right way of putting it there. With semantic. We apologise for the inconvenience. Again, I must admit, given the in the light of the dark side snafu, one mistake a week is all right. A little minor mistake. 2. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know whether it was on the Borderlands side, on Take 2's side and Borderlands, whoever runs the Borderlands YouTube channel. I don't know whether it was on YouTube's side. I don't know whether it was on Google's side, but it was announced in the blog post. It wasn't announced in a tweet or a minor little thing on Reddit. It was announced in the This Week on Stadia. So, yeah. Again, not necessarily a good look that for Stadia. But I'm not, it's not enough for me to kind of rage quit and throw my monitor out the window or anything. But, hey, Grace and Stadia, just get your wheels aligned, yeah? Just get your communication going, yeah? Because you know what people are like. They get a bit saber-rattly, pitchforky, yeah? Just so you've got to manage those things. And when you mess up, just own it a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. And then people, hopefully, reasonable people will just get over it. And we're all good. But there you go. that was the Stadia community blog from earlier last week. And then, of course, as I say, it's raining games. Hallelujah, it's raining games. Who remembers that song? I'll tell you who it was. In fact, a prize of just being clever. If you can tell me who sang it's actually Raining Men, and I'll tell you. And if you get it right, I'll tell you a little weird anecdote, which may raise an eyebrow. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here about Stadia chat, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. Right. The Stadia does, yeah, it was a stream, exactly. But you know, my point being, they announced it and then it didn't happen. If they knew it wasn't going to happen, so there could be a legitimate reason, you know, but just about managing that communication a bit better would help. Right. So yes, it's raining men. No, it's raining games. What a feast of games we've got, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So last year they talked about the Stadia Makers Program, which is, as I understand it, in partnership with Unity. And it's about getting developers to use Unity and getting developers to understand how Stadia works and develop games for Stadia. These games don't necessarily have to end up only on Stadia. We might see them on other platforms, and that is true. I think they helped out K's, the rabbit game. I'm going to call it the rabbit game. My brain's gone dead. But anyway, and other things which are multi-platform games. But it's good to see that Stadia, you plant the seeds, you water the seeds. You plant the seeds, you water the seeds, and the seeds grow. What's that from? You plant the seeds, you water the seeds. Anyway, it's good to see them seeding the market, building relationships with indies, because you never know, one of these indies might end up being the next Among Us, yeah, or Fall Guys, or something like that, and go on to create, you know, bigger and better things. You've got to seed the market to bring diversity of thought and creativity. Otherwise, you just get like a constant flow of blockbusters with no imagination, just, you know, cookie cutting the next AAA game. It's games like this that are at the forefront of new ideas and creativity, and I think that's really important. But the Weather Girls, thank you, Charles Arand. It was correct. It was the Weather Girls. That's right, Brian. Yes. So, I had a friend. Yeah. Let's say he was a friend of Dorothy. Right. I had a friend who was a friend of Dorothy, and invited me out to a club in a town near where I grew up. So I went to that club with my friend, and who was doing, what do they call it when they just do like a couple of songs? Anyway, the Weather Girls were live at this club doing a rendition of It's Raining Men. There we are, just a weird little thing. Anyway, there you go. Right, yeah, so these games. So again, seeding the market, and as you say, we've got of these games. It's interesting that of these games, you know, Dark Side Detective: A Fumble in the Dark is a sequel, is one of them as well. Did they fund the original one? Not sure they did. So it's interesting they've come in and supported that. 100 Days we knew about. Are they naked? Are those two people naked? Picking grapes naked? This game's taken a turn. Okay, moving on. Let me just say I'm going to pass on their wine. All right, I'll give their wine a pass. Yeah, maybe let it mature 20 years. Yeah. Anyway, a winemaking simulator. That's fine. Now, Foreclosed. Now that does look very impressive. I'm going to just, and I won't put the speaker on, but I love its sort of, you know, obviously it's got that you know, the whole cyberpunk feel to it, but with a comic strip, comic book, graphic novel style approach to it. There was a game I played recently, well, let's say recently, a few years ago on Xbox Games Pass, and it was in a comic book style. It was called The Bastards Are Going to Get You, or Get Them Before They Get You, or something like that. It was quite funny, actually. But this is a much more of kind of a dark comic look style to it. I really like it. Yeah, this looks fun. I'm looking forward to this. So this one looks really cool. I'm looking forward to this. This sort of floats my boat. Pretty cool with that. Figment 2. I'm still playing Figment 1. The voice acting is sort of good, but weird. Like some of the decisions that they've made. One moment, somebody's got a weird French accent. Why do you come here? I will teach you with my nightmare like accent. And you're going, what are you talking about? And then others sort of just weird fake Scottish accent, just weird accents and voice acting in it. But great. Again, great puzzles. So I'm looking forward to Figment 2. A cheeky wine, exactly. Looking forward to Figment 2. Of course I am. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, Grime. Let's line that up nicely. Now, this game, that's it. What was that? Void Bastards. Yes. I will. Void Bastards on the Xbox. That's what it was. I knew it was they're going to get you bastards or something like that. Void Bastards. Anyway, this game, I love the art style in it. There's something almost like claymation, like stop frame animation about it with these visuals here. It looks really cool with that. And it's just a side scrolling game, but with that 3D appearance, which is a really imaginative way of creating a game to give it depth. I mean, like literally depth, but also just from an artistic point of view. And some great gameplay and styles here, in the way that you can suck in the weapon if you time it right, and then spit that weapon back up out and use it against the person that's fired at you. Really, I mean, this bit as well looks so like a claymation kind of animation, whatever you might get, stop frame thing. Really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. She Dreams, surreal. It looks it. Merrick's Market, which we knew, we've known around for a while. I saw somebody say it has that Wallace and Gromit style look to it with the teeth and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, again, and that looks like a sort of fun game in a kind of Embers, build stuff and sell stuff and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Death Carnival, a twin stick shooter, as they say now. If you saw my PUBG play, which is a bit twin sticky, and also the issue I had with Outcasters, I can't do the rubbing your belly and tapping your head at the same time. It's impossible. I can't do it, except I'm doing it now. But you know, that kind of, you got a big sort of ambidextrous, really. But it looks really cool, Death Carnival, and we've seen it before. I thought so at the time. Although I was very hopeful it was a 3D shoot 'em, like a first-person shooter with this. I hope the whole game was like this, but it's that slightly fake top-down twin shooter appeal there, twin sticks appeal. Anyway, and then hey, Jay and Silent Bob, Chronic Blunt Punch. Got to say that right. Which I know there's a big cult following for all things Jay and Bob, as it were. I was never a big fan of Clark's, the movie. I was a film student at the time. Was I a film student? Yeah. No, I was on my way to be a film student. It just didn't, it didn't jive with me, man. But I know it did jive with a lot of people in the time, and it has a big cult following. So, you know, Coolios. And then we all know about Sky Climbers. This is a really impressive story, really, in terms of how it came about. I jumped on really early. I think I was before they'd even got to £5,000. I think $5,000. I jumped in this one. Certainly before the $20,000. It looks really cool. My biggest concern, and I've said this before, I think I said it on Cloudgames Extreme with Ace and everybody at the weekend, if you saw me on there. My biggest concern about this game is it looks really great. The ambition, I'll just play it through. The ambition looks really great as well. But that's what I worry about. That they may try to be all things to all people and fall short. And I hope there's a sort of an editor there, as it were, who will sort of say, look, let's narrow the focus if it's too sprawling or too difficult to deliver. You don't want a No Man's Sky scenario, somebody quoted to me, where you promise the world, the moon and the stick, and then you just deliver the moon, albeit a brilliant, or you just deliver the stick, albeit a brilliant stick, and then you add on the moon later. That's much better. But we'll see. But it looks great, and I think it's great that the story of how this game developed and the Stadia community came together, jumped on board the Kickstarter thing, put them in touch with Stadia. Stadia came out and said, yeah, DM me. And then this is all like a few weeks ago. And then here we are. It's announced in a blog post, but a few weeks later. That's amazing. That's really good. And why would Stadia, you could say, actually, when I come to think of it, some people say, yeah, but, Clive, all these games were planned to come out last year. So, of course, they're going to come out. There's no evidence that they're not closing down in a year's time because they've already got all these commitments. Yeah, but they didn't have this commitment 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Sky Climbers wasn't a commitment 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's a brand new commitment. And it's good to see. So I'm just saying it, put it out there. Just put it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, there's a few fixes and patches. I just think it's really exciting. Have I done all the games? Yeah, all good stuff. Let me know which ones of those games you're really looking forward to. Are you excited about it? I like the variety. As I say, and it's good to see what these people will do in the future and stuff like that. And now they built that relation. They built the knowledge with Unity and Stadia. And now, hopefully, that means it's a lot easier. Should they come up with other games, they've got the relationship, they've got the knowledge, and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, just quickly in the news as well, fixes and patches, ladies and gentlemen. Fixes and patches are in the works. Do not fear, ladies and gentlemen. Do not fear. Fixes and patches. Fixes and patches are in the works. Yeah, for FIFA 21, I'm going to go to Stadia Source because it's a great source of collating all specific Stadia news and nothing more. Where was it? A fix here. Here we are. Save me getting it. Here we go. A fix for FIFA 21 is in the works. I know a lot of people are asking. It's never really affected me, but I just have quick games. I don't play in the pro league side of it or anything like that. But I know people have been asking for it. I think Grace again. Hello, Grace. Anyway, hello, Grace. Hi, everyone. We understand how frustrating the situation can be. We're aware of the issue with career-saved games. We've been in touch with EA, who is in the process of rolling out a fix next week. So a fix is in the works. So it's good to know, even if they don't know when that fix is coming, at least they're communicating with the community, letting them know. And that is also the case of Outriders as well. They've come out with a similar statement for Outriders. Have I got that statement here? No. Anyway, so obviously Outriders needs fixing across the board. And they're doing it and they're rolling out and they're sorting out the servers. I saw a tweet today that multi-platform gaming is back on board on Outriders. Stadia, so you can play it at Stadia and Xbox can play together and stuff like that. So apparently that's back. That's good. People are moaning that we've got an old version. Maybe we have, maybe we don't. Maybe the 1.0 is the 1.0 Stadia version rather than a 1.0 general version. I don't know. But anyway, let's hope that in the patch, it jumps a few versions, if that is the case, and we get version 1.02 or 1.2. And we don't, which would make sense because they're patching the other versions as well. So we get the benefits of that plus the Stadia specific patches that are required. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming. So that's all good. Right. So one thing I want to bring your attention to is an article. Okay. So there is an article in VentureBeat. I don't know if you read it, and I'll come to it in a minute. Now, this is an opinion piece, as really actually most articles really about. So this is about the closing of Stadia Games and Entertainment and maybe what Google are doing and maybe the benefits of it and stuff like that. And you know, it allies with some people's opinions about, you know, the pivot that Stadia clearly have been making, Google have clearly made. Anyway, the point is about opinions and stuff is when reading these things, you really have to consider how much credence you're going to put to that opinion. And you do that by looking at the person who's giving that opinion or writing that article. And so that's why I mentioned this, because this is a VentureBeat article, which I will come to. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I'll come to. As I say, it's an opinion piece. Now, as I said, unless you're in the Google boardroom or the Stadia boardroom, nobody really knows 100% the strategy. Yeah. But people can speculate, and people do speculate based on their own business experience, their hopes, their aspirations, their knowledge of gaming or whatever it is. But when it comes to opinions or articles like that, whose opinion is likely to be closer to the facts? Your mate Bob down the pub, yeah? Or your mate Fred in your squad, yeah? Or someone within the industry who has expertise on the actual subject matter, whose opinion is more likely to be in the world of reality. This is why this article is interesting, and it's framed as an opinion piece, because when you look at the credentials of the author, I think it's worth considering what the article says. Now, the writer in this case is a person called Daphne Parot. Daphne Parot. I hope I've said that right. It's French. She has over 20 years of 20 years experience in digital data, performance-based marketing, along with being a digital mum and gamer. Daphne Parot is the chief marketing officer she's a chief marketing officer for cloud gaming company Blacknut. And if you're not familiar with Blacknut, there's lots of cloud gaming companies starting up all over the shop. This is Blacknut, of which she is the chief marketing person. And I've not tried it. It's a cloud gaming experience, £6.49, 500 games. So in a kind of all you can eat buffet style. And the games are like you might see, look, you see on Amazon. So they're competing more directly with Amazon Prime, really. And they're in Europe and I think in North America. Anyway, so that is who this person who wrote this article is. Okay, she's the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer of Blacknut, this cloud gaming enterprise in Europe. You can play on Windows, Macs, Linux, everything across the works. It's interesting. Anybody try it out? Let me know what you think. But anyway, I'm not here to shill for Blacknut. Oh yeah, and by the way, Blacknut is not what happens when you don't wash your testicles. Okay, it is in fact a cloud gaming service. Okay, so just so we just clear that bit up so there's no confusion. Anyway, to the article, ladies and gentlemen, stop whiffly waffling. So this is the article. Accept all that. It's me. I'll just close that down. So here we are. The headline here is basically Google killing Stadia's studios may make cross-play gaming better for everyone. So the gist of it, without going into too much detail here, but I highly recommend you read it. It's on VentureBeat. The gist of it is that maybe Google were trying to be, they were trying to compete too early. They were trying to compete with the quadopoly, as she says, of Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and PC games. That market, that quadopoly is already fragmented. By closing its studios, Google can now focus on growing its subscriber base without the expensive distraction of making its own AAA games. So that's the first point. And the second point is that what she's basically saying is it means that they are no longer, so Stadia is no longer competing with PlayStation and Xbox in the same way, which means that they're more likely to want to use Stadia as some kind of service or get their games on Stadia and use games as a service. Yeah, because they don't feel they're being threatened by Google in that way. And so it's an interesting article. And she goes on here, remember Sony trying to block console crossplay on Fortnite before a backlash forced it to a U-turn. So this is all about, basically, cloud gaming means if there is a push towards crossplay, across all the platforms, cloud gaming really lends itself to that. And therefore it encourages developers and publishers to make their games crossplay. And we already know, I said it last year, we had the Laura Miele, who's the head of EA Studios, said they were trying to make all their games multi-platform crossplay, like crossplay multi-platform. We know Ubisoft going forward, trying to make all their games crossplay. It's a common theme that's occurring. And what she's saying here is that, with cloud gaming, meaning consumers can access games on different platforms, it makes sense that developers and publishers start making games that's much more cross-play. And if Google aren't competing directly with that quadopoly, it's more likely that those people will start saying, well, I might bring my games or might start use the Stadia service. So it's just interesting. It was just an interesting article by somebody I thought seemed sort of qualified to know what she's talking about. So that's the article. It's a VentureBeat. Google killing Stadia Studio may make crossplay game better for everyone. Check that article out. I think it's well worth giving it a check out. It's just interesting. It's a good read. Not a long read, not too complicated, anything like that. But it's just an interesting take overall. One thing also in the rumors, by the way, Dark Souls, before I forget, Dark Souls is rumored to be coming to Stadia as well. We've heard that rumor before, but it seems to have been reinforced by a Twitter handle which is called Leaky Patch and has a reputation for leaking gaming news. So it seems to reinforce the suspicions that we had about Dark Souls coming. So I just thought I'd mention that. I just thought I'd mention that out there, Okay, so there's a lot been going on, and so I thought I would just touch on a few things. What the hell are you doing? What are you changing? What's that? Who This is called the Stadia Monday Night Chat. Yeah? The clue is in the word, Stadia. Yeah, but if I wanted to talk about other stuff, I'd probably create a different show for it, yeah? This is the Stadia Monday Night Chat. This will always be the Stadia Monday night chat. If I decide I want to talk about GeForce now, which I probably used about once, but that usually seems to be enough qualification for somebody to start a podcast, I would, I don't know, I'll start the GeForce Tuesday night chat. And for xCloud, I'll have the xCloud Wednesday night chat. Yeah? But this show here is the Stadia Monday night chat. All right? So change that rubbish back now. Don't care about the money. Don't care about the goodies. I do this because I like Stadia. I'm passionate about Stadia. I enjoy talking about Stadia. These people here like listening about Stadia. It says Stadia above the door. It says Stadia on my arm. It says Stadia over here. Stadia. Stadia Monday night chat. It's all very simple. Hashtag Stadia 100. Yeah, so, sorry about that, people. Sorry about that, people. Anyway, let's talk about brand loyalty, shall we? Eh? Let's talk about brand loyalty. Why not? Brand loyalty has existed since marketing and PR started at the ushering in of mass production and consumerism. And we're talking like the industrial age, yeah? Brought and, mass production and consumerism. And brand loyalty was born, yeah? Businesses depend upon it. It's basically business marketing 101. And I mean, man, look at the brand loyalty to Apple, for goodness sake. Apple products. Let me give you a little insight, ladies and gentlemen, a little insight into the mind of Clive Illington. Yeah? There is nothing wrong with brand loyalty, right? I love Converse. Let me show you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just show you something. I forgot to... Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. I love Converse. Yeah? There's nothing wrong with brand loyalty. I love Converse. Shame they're owned by Nike. But hey, I have far too many Converse shoes for normal use. Yeah? Far too many. I love G-Shock watches. Look. Yeah? I love my G-Shock watches. I used to love watches generally. Had a lovely Tag Heuer. Expensive one. I had to sell it. I had to pawn it, right? Because I had no money. But then I sort of went cheaper, but I loved it. I'd much prefer now a nice fancy G-Shock. I love G-Shock. I wish I could buy more on a regular basis. But hey, who needs more than maybe 2 watches? Maybe 1 watch? 2 watches? But I'm happy to share my passion for Converse shoes. I'm happy to share my passion for G-Shock, baby. G-Shock. And yes, with any kind of loyalty, that there is an element of emotional attachment. That's what companies are depending upon. There's an element of emotional attachment that overrides the sort of pragmatic side of things. Otherwise, why would you buy? I don't need that many pairs of shoes. Maybe I do, because there's a different type for each weather condition. That's my justification. Not really. But you need that kind of emotional element. That's what companies are depending on. And there's no harm in that. Generally, right? That emotional attachment to a product or something that's part of brand loyalty. And generally, that's 8, Eli, if you're asking. I don't know what it is in European size. UK 8. Generally, this is harmless. This emotional attachment is harmless. There's always people, right? There will always be people who are not good at recognizing that emotional attachment taking over their pragmatic side and it becoming an obsession. Think about the word fanaticism. Yeah. Fanaticism. It has the word fan in it. A fan is harmless. Yeah. But when it's in the word fanaticism, yeah, it becomes harmful, potentially harmful to that person. If that obsession takes them over, they sell their house and spend it on Converse shoes. Yeah. That's obsession. They're taking it emotionally too far. Yeah. But that doesn't mean the rest of us people who like product A and like to talk about it with other people who like product A and form groups about it, that we're all nutters or some kind of brand fascists. Yeah. What's wrong with like-minded people wanting to come together and seek out others and share a passion for one particular brand? Obnoxious, angry people exist in this world, right? That's a given. Sadly, that is a given. So you will inevitably come across those people in every little clump of society, every little group. There will be those people, especially within the Petri dish that is the angry, obsessive world of Twitter. Yeah? But that is on them and their own emotional instability. It's not on the brand they happen to have associated with. Yeah? Unless they've been demagogued, as MM2K would say. Unless that brand is playing directly to those sorts of emotions. You know, the bad side of people. And that's wrong. But generally, you telling me that that's what Apple is doing, or Xbox is doing, or Sony is doing, or Google is doing? No. Let's have a look at Xbox. Xbox put on fan events, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at this. Fan Fest. What is Xbox Fan Fest? I'll tell you what it is. It is a festival of Xbox arranged for Xbox fans. It's about building their brand loyalty. People lap this up. I nearly took my kids to one a couple of years ago, but the dates, there was an issue with the dates. Couldn't go in the end. But, you know, you paid money to go as well, like 17 quid or whatever to get in, to get tickets. I've been 3 tickets. So do I like gaming? Yeah, I do. At the moment, it's Stadia. Used to be Xbox. I still like it. Still is little box. I'm still Xbox at heart. I still love, like Xbox. But I'm really excited and passionate at the moment about Stadia. And if you meet me and ask me about Stadia, I find it difficult not to talk about it. Yeah? Because I'm excited by it. So I don't mind telling you that I do like Stadia. I am hashtag Stadia 100. Yeah? So, hashtag Stadia for 100 for those who like Stadia and want to share that fact. Hashtag Stadia 100. And for those who want to highlight Stadia specific content on whatever platform. Yeah, so people know they're getting sort of Stadia specific or Stadia fan type content or whatever it is, but you know it's going to be Stadia content. Hashtag Stadia 100. Totally inclusive. Welcoming to all. Nothing more and nothing less. Right then, ladies and gentlemen. To the Chatmobile, ladies and gentlemen. To the Chatmobile. Right, so let's see what we've been doing, ladies and gentlemen. Craig Anthony says, GeForce is better than Stadia. Thank you for sharing that insight there, Craig. Spectra's deceased. He's laughing so much. If Shadows Die Twice can win Game of the Year, Resident Evil can. Yeah, so Lord Kensal played Resident Evil 7. I'm thinking he might play it tomorrow night as well on his stream. It does look great. And it raises the hopes that Resident Evil at the Village is going to look incredible. As Kessel Runner says here, RE7 runs smooth. So I have to imagine the village will at least come to close to it. I agree. Bro, Sekiro wasn't a horror game. What's that about? Anyway, but that looks great as well, Sekiro. Thank you, Stadia 100. Yes. Thank you, Stadia Dad Games. I was expecting most of the content creators getting freebies from Stadia and then changing the name. Yeah, that's why, to be honest, said Nar, that's why it's called the Stadia Monday Night Chat, because I've had no freebies. And until I get those freebies, I can't change, you know, I can't change the name, can I? Yeah, because I got no freebies, yeah. Despite being in the top 10 watched, top 10 subscribed YouTube channels that have a show specifically about Stadia. Just saying, just check the facts with Jack to Slip. Not bitter. So I can't change my name until I get the goodies. Grace, call me Grace. Yeah, Grace, call me. Anyway, Eli asking shoe size, bit personal, but size 8. I was about to get my shoe off, but I'm in my slippers because I'm an old man. You guys ain't messing around. No, we have. I have GeForce. Stadia's much better. IMO. Well, you know, it's horses for courses, isn't it? Horses for courses. Dave loved Sekiro. I know. I'm still stuck. I sort of gave up a bit on it. Maybe I need to go back. Sometimes I play another game with a similar sort of style to it, and then it inspires me to go back to a game I struggled at before because I suddenly realize I've learned a technique. But I think I'm missing something in Sekiro. I can't beat that first big giant with the fiery eyes or whatever. Brian, fantastic episode. Thank you, Brian. I always appreciate it because I love your work, man. Loving your work, Brian. Everybody subscribed to. I'm sure everybody's already subscribed to Nerf Report, man. Just try and buy Stadia dosage and just trying to bring back the tools that connects fans of Stadia. Yeah, it is. And to be honest, we kind of really labored that point that it's about helping people find Stadia specific content, which it is. So you can label your work. Hashtag Stadia 100, hashtag Team Stadia, hashtag Stadia. Like you do, because you need to put the tags in there. But this tag specifically labels it as purely Stadia. Yeah, just about Stadia. So it doesn't matter what, you know, it's not channel specific, it's content specific. But the reason it's Stadia 100 is it also serves another purpose. And not in a bad way. I don't think this has to be a bad way, but you can just say, yay, hey, I'm a fan of Stadia. Stadia, hashtag Stadia 100. So it serves two purposes. You know, 100% Stadia. So the content that you're going to find with hashtag Stadia is 100%. Yeah. But also, hey, I'm Stadia 100%. I love it. Yeah. And I don't mind sharing the fact. I don't mind walking around in a top that's got Stadia written down the top. Yeah, like everybody walks around in t-shirts with Nike written atop, right? It's not the fact that, you know, at the end of the day, you just put a label in the back that says Nike in the little label that sticks up, just so you know it's a Nike shirt. But no, they want to advertise the fact that they're walking around in a Nike t-shirt. Yeah, no harm in that. No harm in, you know, saying, hey, I happen to like Stadia. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So that's what I'm saying. So it works. You know, it works a kind of a dual way. It's clever, mate. I tell you, the brains department are behind this. Nothing wrong with it. Paul Bayram says Resi 7 looks great. It does. Have you played? I've only played Hitman 1 and 2. I might wait for Hitman 3. I do love it. Plus the DLCs. Of course, the Hitman DLC, everybody, looks really cool, is out there. When I was a kid, we all had different systems. ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, VIC-20. Exactly. We went to others' houses and played. Exactly. I had a ZX81, ladies and gentlemen. My dad wouldn't get me a ZX Spectrum. He said, I've spent all my money on a ZX81. Well, it wasn't all your money, Dad, really. Imagine like people get their kids gaming PCs cost £1,000. You basically spent 90 quid on me. Not that I'm ungrateful, because it was a lot of money at the time, but there you go. Stadia 100 means I can watch exactly what I want I have limited time. I don't want to watch content on other platforms as they currently don't interest me. Stadia is plenty good enough for me. Exactly. And that's what it does. You see, it works. It's a signpost. That's all it is. It's a signpost, but also at the same time, if you just want to say, hey, I love Stadia, that doesn't preclude you from, hey, you can be polymorphic or whatever they say. Yeah. You can have a poly relationship when it comes to brands. It's not marriage. Yeah. You are allowed to love lots of different things. Yeah. You're married. Just the one. Yeah. It's monogamous. Yeah. Monogamous. But with brands, you can be polyogamous. Yeah. It's not a crime. It's not from some weird state in the US where you're allowed to marry 4 people. No, but you are allowed to love as many brands as you want. So again, it doesn't mean that you love Stadia over everything else and it makes me mad. No, just saying, hey, Stadia's cool with me. Okay, look, I'm overrunning. Because Anthony, and now your mama knows, is talking to Avery about this very subject. So I don't want to steal from him any time. So I'm going to wrap it up quickly. He should be going live now. So get yourself over to And Now Your Mama Knows. If you want to see more about this conversation, to see what Anthony of And Now Your Mama Knows has to say about it, if you want to see what Avery has to say, they're not going to be holding their punches, ladies and gentlemen. They're not going to be holding any of their punches. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that, make sure you've hit the likes if you haven't already hit the likes. Subscribe if you're new here and all of that. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu for being here. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will see you same time, same place next week. Don't forget Lord Kensal tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time over on Lord Kensal of Stadia. Have a great rest of the week.